Welcome back to a weekend edition of Cord Cutting Today. There's some big news happening in the world of Google TV. They got a new plan to become even better as they try to find a way forward to compete with Google TV, Fire TVs, and Apple TVs. This comes as reports are out that Google may be losing some interest in Google TV as it struggles with ads. We'll be breaking this all down and more in this special edition of Cord Cutting Today on a weekend. In a quick second. First, you can find a link to the story we're about to talk about in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. You can find it there. If you like what we do, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up, doing one or both. Let's YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. All right, let's dive into it. Google has announced to developers this week a big change, and that is that all apps will be required over the next year to be upgraded to 64-bit. And I'll explain that in a minute. By August, or starting in August 2026. If you're not up to that, you won't be included. A few things here, probably a big update to the Google TV OS coming to help push this. Currently, they're on 32 bits. Going to 64, they promise will offer things like faster loading, better performance, and the ability to use new features with the higher powered apps. You've probably seen Windows 64, 32 is probably pretty common. 32 is the older standard, 64 is the more powerful, newer standards. Been out for a while. This comes as Google's been struggling to compete with Roku, Fire TVs, Apple TVs, and more. They've done a really good job, especially eating into the Fire TV market with Google TV. And a big part of that is the fact that Google TV is allowing side loading, and Apple's been cracking down on that. But also is, I think, the integration, the great voice command, and more with Google's accounts. Same reason why a lot of people like Apple TVs. It just seamlessly integrates with their Apple accounts. People like Google TV for the same reason. It also offers a very powerful ability to use voice commands to not just open apps, but say, hey, play ESPN on YouTube TV, and it will just do that. Very well integrated into YouTube and YouTube TV, some of the most popular streaming services on the market in their respective fields. Be interested to see how this plays out. There have been reports that Google is struggling to see the future of Google TV. Ad sales have not hit what they wanted. Remember, most of these streaming players now are like razor blades, right? We sell the shaver at a cheap price because we're going to make the money in razor blades. A lot of these streaming players are sold very cheap because they make so much money on subscriptions and ad revenue. Well, apparently, according to reports, Google has been struggling to sell their ads and have a respectable revenue from it. We'll have to keep an eye on that, how that plays out, but this could be a big attempt to reconfigure Google as a more competitive player. Be interesting, not necessarily for the big apps, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, others like that. They're going no problem. What about the smaller apps here? That could be interesting. The side-loaded apps, will they have trouble with this and more? We'll keep an eye on it, but it's become quite a battle out there for dominance. Roku controls the majority of the streaming in the United States. Here. They are 1 in 3 TVs sold in America now are also running a Roku OS with that. They're dominating. Google TV, a more recent entry into the field, the Fire TV and Apple TV and Roku, has been, though, cutting and finding a market away from some of the competitors. Amazon's Fire TV is making some changes on their own. Apple, always popular, but always struggling. Price point, I think, is a big part of that. With it. We'll see how it all plays out. Google TV, though, making big changes to try to attract people. Are you a Google TV user? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I want to hear from you. What do you like about Google TV? What do you not like about Google TV? Also, what is your preferred streaming player? We did a survey not that long ago, and the vast majority of you used Roku. Even adding together Apple TV, Google TV, and Fire TV, it was still Roku dominating. We'll see how that plays out. Will they be able to continue that? I have seen Roku's market share slowly fall as more and more options come on the market and more TV manufacturers switch to Google TV. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of that. Well, that's it for today. We'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care. Be safe. I'll be back again real soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here.